Turkish Airlines EuroLeague in association with
Here now, in this game, one goal, one team. Fight for that possession, gotta act fast. Another shot, another pass. The city comes to life and they got something to say. Come on, let's go. I feel devotion.
Larkin, he is the new all-time top scorer in a single game in the history of the EuroLeague. 49 points in the night.
Nigel Hayes-Davis, history maker, the first ever 50-point game in the EuroLeague.
Yes, the players with the two biggest scoring nights in competition history collide in a clash of continents in the game of round 33 here in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. We welcome you to the Ulka Sports and Event Hall as Fenerbahce host Anadolu Efes for one of the most significant Istanbul derbies in recent memory. In a remarkable turnaround, Efes arrive at their crosstown rivals, occupying the final play-in place with only 2 games to go. They've gone from just 7 and 13 their first 20 games to winning 8 of their last 12. But Tomislav Mijatovic's team know they still likely need to win both of their final 2.
We're playing against a really well-coached team and a team that plays at home and that plays with their tempo. In order to match somebody or overmatch somebody's tempo, you gotta either overmatch their energy or tactically play to, let's say, a certain level of perfection to throw them off balance.
This is Fenerbahce's fortress, the best home court in Europe, going 15-1 in this building and breaking records almost every week. It's helped them guarantee a postseason place, but home court advantage in the playoffs is the target. So Šarūnas Jasikevičius's team also need to win both of their final 2 games.
I think both teams are playing good offensive basketball. I think Efes in general really turned it up in the last couple of games. Defensively, a lot more intensity they have denying the ball. So, you know, like we always say, these games, details, easy points, 50-50 balls, offensive rebounds, those are huge.
A very good evening from me, Tim Long, and welcome inside the Ulka Sports and Event Hall, where it's Fenerbahce Beko Istanbul against Anadolu Efes, round 33 of the 2023-24 Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. 2 of the competition's grandest clubs, separated by only a 28-kilometre drive. Efes travelling east from the European side of the Bosphorus to get here tonight. This is the first of 4 tip-offs, 3 of them derbies, with Real Madrid hosting Baskonia, Bayern welcoming Panathinaikos, and Milan entertaining Bologna. Last night, to start round 33, we saw playoff-clinching wins for Olympiacos, Monaco and Barcelona, a vital play-in chasing win for Partizan, a near-fatal defeat for Valencia as well. An Efes defeat in the derby tonight would see Partizan replace them in the final play-in place with 1 game to go. A Fenerbahce win puts them into a group of 5 teams separated by just 1 win from 2nd down to 6th. They currently have the tiebreak advantage over all of those clubs, so a top 4 place and home court advantage in the playoffs would then be a strong possibility. Defeat would be a deadly blow, and both Istanbul clubs in fine form, both with an identical 8 wins from their last 12 in that period. Only Monaco and the 2 Greek clubs can boast a more impressive record. We'll look at Efes first, repeat champions of Europe in 2022, but Ergin Ataman's dynasty ended without playoff qualification last season, and the transition has been far from smooth. An injury hit mid-season saw new coach Erdem Can last only 4 months, but they are fit and firing now. Will Clyburn, one of the players back from injury. Sharpshooter Rodrigue Boudoir, a key part of the back-to-back title-winning team, now 36, but still averaging a team 4th best 10.5 points, and doing so efficiently, a 52-40-82 shooting split. And look out the former Final Four MVP, Will Clyburn, as well. He's missed 10 games this season, including the game against Fenerbahce in round 17, but he's now averaging team second best of 12.7 points and a team high 4.6 rebounds. His shooting percentage low on the outside, but over the last 9 games up to 41% from 3. As for Fenerbahce, they were the first ever Turkish team to become European champions in 2017, part of a run of 5 straight Final Fours under the great Željko Obradović. But they've not been to the showpiece event since 2019. A former disciple of Obradovic's, Sharas, now leading the way. Things clicking after his mid-season arrival on the bench. Scotty Wilbekin, one of their many sharpshooters. And centre Jonathan Motley back to his best as well. In 19.5 minutes a game, he's averaging team third best of 11.8 points and 4.3 rebounds with a team high 2 offensive rebounds and shooting 66% from 2-point territory. We'll look at Wilbekin, who celebrates his 31st birthday here today. He's averaging team second best of 13.2 points and 3.5 assists, a team high 1.1 steals. He's second in the league in threes made, hitting 2.9 a game at close to 40%. And a special look at the top 2 scoring performances in modern era history next. In 2019 against Bayern, Efes' guard Shane Larkin smashed the all-time record with 49 points, hitting a joint single-game record 10 threes. 4.5 years later, here last week, Fener forward Nigel Hayes-Davis raised the bar, the first ever 50-point game in this competition. What a statement ahead of this meeting tonight, and what response might it provoke from Larkin, who leads the whole league in index rating this season. Both arrive in fine form. It's 50 versus 49, the only 2 players to ever score more than 41 in a EuroLeague game. Elsewhere for Efes, do-it-all wing Elijah Bryant, third on the team in PIR. Point guard Darius Thompson puts up team third best of 11.7 points, 3 assists, as well as a team second best 1.1 steals. And at centre, Tibor Pleister's 7-foot sniper, Dano Turu and Tyreek Jones, both explosive in the paint. Efes have all key players fit after a wave of injuries crashed against them in mid-season, ultimately putting Tomi Mijatovic in charge. At centre for Fenerbahce, Sertaç Şanlı won the EuroLeague with Efes in 2021. And the giant Yurios Papagiannis was big in the round 17 win at Efes earlier this season. 23-year-old Tarik Biberovic, the league leader in three-point accuracy at 57%. Tyler Dorsey, 7th in the league at 47%. And informed point guard Nick Calathes, the all-time leader in both assists and steals, is up to 6.2 assists, 1.4 steals a game across the last 9. In the reverse meeting, he had a 17.8 assist, 3 steal, 1 turnover game. Nigel Hayes-Davis, the other star in that previous Derby win, as he put up 24 points and 6 rebounds in 36 minutes. Efes will be introduced officially first. 15 and 17 all together this season. 4 defeats the first 6 games under coach Erdem Can after taking over, but then 5 wins the next 7. Things started to click, but injuries hit hard and they lost each of the next 7 in a row, including by 5 at home to Fener in December. With key players recovering, they have now won 8 of the last 12, including back-to-back 24-point wins against Bologna and Barcelona under coach Can, and huge wins over Olympiacos, Maccabi and Bayern under Tomi Mijatovic. But all of those impressive wins have been at home, where they've won 5 in a row and 7 of their last 8. Remarkably, on the road, they had lost 8 in a row before vitally and emphatically winning at Baskonia last week by an astonishing 21 points. The lights down and the atmosphere up for the arrival onto the playing surface of Fenerbahce. It might just be party time in Istanbul. This season, the way they're playing under Şarūnas Jasikevičius, he's taken them to the next level. Won 14 of his previous 19 games on the bench. They're an impregnable 15-1 at home in front of their own fans, winning each of their last 8. Next up are the neighbours. They're 20-12 through the season, Fenerbahce. 6 defeats in 7. Early on, seeing Dimitris Itoudis replaced in mid-December. Since then, they've gone 14-5 under Şaras, including that 5-point road win at Efes in round 17. Here at home, 10 wins out of 11, and they've been breaking records seemingly every game. They've bettered their all-time club scoring record on 3 different occasions. 109 points against Maccabi in January. Then last month, 111 against Baskonia with a club record 32 assists. And 118 points against Valencia, hitting a competition single-game record 24 threes. Last week, the record 50-point game for Nigel Hayes-Davis. The only question mark is on the road, where they're 4-4 under the new coach, and just 5-11 for the season. Do get set for fireworks from both banks of the Bosphorus tonight. Fenerbahce, the best offensive team in Europe based on offensive rating. Efes, the 3rd best. Only league leaders Real Madrid are near the same level as these two, but the difference between them comes on defense. Fenerbahce rank as the 8th best team, up from 13th since Şaras took over. Efes, the worst defensive team in the competition, albeit, as Şaras has pointed out pre-game, much better over the last 5 games. But through the season, Efes have the worst perimeter defense, the 4th worst interior defense. How will that fare against a Fenerbahce attack that in Şaras's time is number 1 from both 2-point and 3-point range? A huge effort required by Efes to bridge that gap on the road here tonight. And Tommy Mijatovic goes with this lineup from the start. Shane Larkin and Justus Hollatz. The backcourt, Will Clyburn and Ercan Osmani in the forward positions. Tibor Pleiss starts at centre. A common starting 5 for Efes. Hollatz, a youngster. Osmani, a role player. But certainly do their bit for the team. For Fenerbahce, Tyler Dorsey and Nick Calathes is the backcourt. Nigel Hayes-Davis and Tarek Biberovic in the forward positions. Sertaç Şanlı, the former EuroLeague champion with Efes, starts for Fenerbahce at centre. Well, these two are set to meet twice in the space of 4 days. A top-of-the-table Turkish League clash coming on Monday, but this is the one that matters the most. Earlier this season, Fenerbahce won the reverse meeting 84-89 across the Bosphorus. It was a solid display by Efes, who were missing Clyburn, Pleiss and Willis. Perimeter shooting decisive. Fener hitting 12 threes at 39%. Efes held to a torrid 4 triples at only 20%. Fenerbahce also prevailed in the Turkish Cup final in February, beating Efes by 13. But when they met in the Turkish League back in December, Efes did scrape an 81-80 home win. And the last time Fenerbahce hosted Efes here in the EuroLeague, they won 103-86. Last April, Nigel Hayes-Davis and Deshaun Pierre both starring and both playing the entire 40 minutes. We just saw Shane Larkin there. He shined in perhaps the most significant meeting between them at the 2019 Final Four. Had a 30-point, 7 assist, 7 rebound game in the semi-final. His 43 PIR, a record for a Final Four game this century. Efes dominated that one and reached their first ever championship game. Mr. 49 versus Mr. 50. And those two players this season both ranked top 4 in the league for points per possession of all volume scorers. Hayes-Davis 2nd, Larkin 4th, both at the peak of their powers. It's a 13-time champion of Turkey against the 16-time record and reigning champions of Turkey. The first ever Turkish team to be crowned champions of Europe, taking on the first ever to win 2 continental crowns. It's Fenerbahce against Anadolu Efes, live in the game of round 33 in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. It is the only single city derby in which 2 continents collide. Asia against Europe, the Yellow Legacy versus the House of Blue. Fenerbahce against Efes, the arch rivals of Istanbul. Between them, they've lifted 3 of the last 6 championships in the most competitive competition in the game. Tonight, a win ends the regular season ambitions of the enemy. Efes can take home court advantage away from Fener. Fener can take the play-ins away from Efes. In one of the world's most historic cities, it is the blockbuster on the Bosphorus in Istanbul tonight. I'm Tim Long, an honour to be with you for the game of round 33, the penultimate round of the regular season. And the stakes so high for these two Turkish giants in one of the most passionate derbies in all of sport. Efes have the first possession. And we'll immediately hear boos from a sold-out Ülker Sports and Event Hall. Hollatz, the 22-year-old German point guard. Clyburn, who missed the previous meeting. A key returnee for Efes in this stretch of fine form. Larkin catches up with an offensive rebound for Efes. Larkin runs into Hayes-Davis. Efes still with the ball in Clyburn's hands, 5 to shoot. Clyburn battling his way to the basket through traffic and setting the tone on the offensive end for Efes. Well, Clyburn, 3rd in the whole of the league in average PIR last season, but an injury-hit campaign this season for the former Final Four MVP and All-EuroLeague first-teamer. Lots of teams have had their injuries this season, but for Efes, the problem was all the injuries came at the same time, as Hayes-Davis hits in the nick of time, or does he? Well, they will go and have a look. Nigel Hayes-Davis hitting his first shot off the back of that 50-point performance here a week ago. But does it count? And that 50-point performance came in only 30 minutes of play. He was 9 of 11 from 2, 9 of 16 from 3, 5 of 7 from the stripe. He's not going to get this one, unfortunately, for him. I'm sure there'll be another one to come sooner rather than later. He was only averaging around 13 points going into that game last week. His previous career high was 26. But yet he had it written in his pre-season notes that he planned to break the all-time single-game scoring record of 49 set by Shane Larkin, and that he did a week ago with 50. He credited his teammates, his coach, the crowd for a team effort. They all built the platform on which he could steal the spotlight. Osmani to Pleiss. Nice passing from Efes, off balance, knocked down. A big play from the youngster, Justus Hollatz. So Efes score the first 4 points of the derby. Hayes-Davis. Dorsey, bounce, side skip, misses the 3. Calathes offensive rebound. Nick Calathes averaging 6.2 assists a game over the last 9, really finding form. 1.4 steals a game as well. Can he hit a 3? Yes, he can. Fener's first score, it had to be a 3. They're knocking them down at an all-time record-setting rate this season. 11.2 a game, more than any other team in the history of the EuroLeague. The Efes team of 2019, 20th, 3rd on that list, when Shane Larkin was knocking them down at will. Clyburn hits a 2 for Efes. They lead by 3. Toes might have been on the line. It's off the mark from the league leader in 3-point accuracy this season, Biberovic. So Efes looking for the two-possession lead again. Clyburn up against Biberovic, looking to post and toast and torch the youngster. Will Clyburn finding what he feels is a mismatch and making the most of it. Over the last 6 games, since really returning to full fitness, Clyburn has averaged 16.8 points. At Baskonia last week had 20 points, 4 rebounds, a steal, a block and 9 fouls drawn. He's just put the first foul on Fener tonight. Biberovic often comes in later in games. He started this one, the 23-year-old sharpshooter. It really has been a breakout campaign for him. Clyburn looking to break him down, though. Calathes. 5 is the largest lead now for Efes. Chandler, the former Efes player, mismatch for him and a foul on Hollatz. He wasn't just taking the foul because of the mismatch, he was trying to swipe the ball away. Justas Hollatz, a world champion with Germany last September, albeit only averaging 9.5 minutes over 6 games in that competition. There's the flash but not the finish from Hayes-Davis. So 0 so far for Mr. Fiver. Larkin yet to take his shot. He's got a couple of rebounds. Oh, he puts 2 Fenerbahce players down on the deck, and Clyburn couldn't hit the wide open 3. He's really been finding his range again from long range in this recent run. And that was a big miss. Dorsey from deep, well short for the 7th most accurate player from 3-point range this season. He's at around 48%. Averaging 9.2 points in 18 minutes. So Fenerbahce only 3 points in 3.5 minutes on 1 of 5 shooting with 1 turnover. Hollatz, perfect start for Efes. They can make it even more perfect here. Osmani puts it on the floor, takes it at Chandler. Fenerbahce get their 2nd foul. Sertaç Chandler, a EuroLeague champion with Efes in 2021 when he had 2 great performances at the Final Four and included 12 points and a block in just 13 minutes in the championship game against Barcelona. Larkin, up it goes high. Fielded well by Derek Willis. Clyburn. Lots of the play going through Clyburn here. Down the left rail he goes. Back out. Tough pass. Reeled in well by Larkin on the logo. Shot clock down to 2 though. Larkin puts it up long range 2 off the mark. Hayes-Davis the rebound. And Fenerbahce setting scoring records seemingly every week. Only 3 points the first 4 and a bit minutes here in the Istanbul Derby, but they can make it a 1-possession game here. Biberovic up against Osmani. Calathes on the bounce into a pack of players in the paint. Couldn't get the and 1. Will go to the line for 2, but that has been his Achilles heel for a long time now. Nick Calathes, the all-time leader in assists and steals in this competition. He's been accurate from the field this season as well for 6.7 points, but at the line, 9 of 19. Make it 9 of 20. He's only a 54% shooter through his career. He'll be happy enough in the end to split the pair. 2 fouls each, 4.5 played, 4-point Efes lead. Hollatz getting the whole of this first period so far. Larkin on the turnaround over the top of Calathes, couldn't convert. Biberovic. Just 4 points in around 5 minutes for Fener. And a turnover. Final touch off Chandler. No surprise to see Šarūnas Jasikevičius blowing a fuse. This game is absolutely critical for both of the Istanbul clubs. Clyburn back out of the pack. Osmani for three. Off left. Big rebound, Hayes-Davis, as he clatters into Clyburn to take it. And the shots are not dropping for Fenerbahce, but they're doing pretty well on the board so far. Calathes, can he conjure something up? Bounce pass down the baseline to Hayes-Davis. Doesn't go. Offensive rebound to embellish the point I was just making. And Fenerbahce will get another go, but they're now only 1 of 6 from the field. 4 of those 6 attempts have been from 3. Hayes-Davis misses his first. Dorsey's 0 of 2. Fenerbahce trail 4-8 at the TV timeout. Let's take a look at that 50-point performance. Spread the floor, so many shooters in Hayes-Davis. 8 points in the opening minute. Hayes-Davis for 3 again. 18 points in 9 minutes of play. And here comes Hayes-Davis to surpass 30 points. 13,000 on their feet. Hayes-Davis, the skip and the score, and a performance for the ages. Nigel Hayes-Davis, history maker, the first ever 50-point game in the EuroLeague. And to really put that moment of history in perspective, only 4 players in NBA history have ever scored 50 points in less than 30 minutes of play. That's what Nigel Hayes-Davis did last week in a European game. 50 in Europe, comparable perhaps to Wilt's 100 in the NBA, Kobe's 81, certainly Luka's 73 earlier this season. Here in Europe we play with a smaller court, tighter defenses, fewer gaps, no defensive 3-second violation, only 40-minute games of course, longer possessions as well, equal opportunity offenses, lots of players encouraged to share the shots, fewer games, more specific coaching for each individual opponent. 50 really is a quite remarkable feat. Biberovic, who leads the league in true shooting percentage this season, missing a free throw rather. So Fenerbahce 2 of 4 in the line now. Calathes, you expect to miss, Biberovic you don't. Osmani will catch up with it. Plenty of time left on the shot clock here. He'll take it at Chandler. He's been aggressive in that matchup, but he's short on the shot. Osmani missing both of his attempts from the field so far. Efes only have 1 more foul to give in the first. Dorsey. Just 1 field goal for Fenerbahce in 6 minutes. Calathes behind the back, shakes off Osmani to the elbow, misses again, tipped by Pleiss, out of bounds. Fenerbahce will have the ball back. But they're now just 1 of 7 from the field, the most accurate shooting team in the league from 2-point and 3-point range since Sharas took charge in December. And Efes, the worst defensive rating in the league this season. We said they'd have to really turn it up to bridge that gap, and so far so good, and right on cue. Larkin flashes into the passing lane, but Horatz saying he was fouled in flight. Doesn't get the answer he wants from the official. And Fenerbahce get away with their 3rd turnover. Pierre. Hayes-Davis off the pass from Chandler. Inside, outside, passing to Dizzy, the Efes defense. Calathes can't convert out the end of it, though. Deshaun Pierre has just come in. The first change for Fener. And Osmani will go to the line for 2. Efes still with their starting 5 out there, covering the whole of this first quarter. Pierre has just replaced Biberovic. Well, that is where Hollatz wanted the foul, and he appeared to be caught by Efes on his way up. Was looking to throw it down. It would have been the play of the derby so far. Tommy Mijatovic pleading with the officials. It's a part of home court advantage, I suppose. The pressure that your fans apply in more ways than one. Fenerbahce, you only have to look at their season record to know why they are so desperate for home court advantage in the best-of-5 playoff series. They're 5-11 on the road this season. They're 15-1 with their home fans behind them. They're struggling here so far, though. Hayes-Davis up against Hollatz, back out, Wilbekin. Sidestep, three-point shot, even he misses. The man who knocks down the second most in the league this season. Not to his liking. This 1 of 9 from the field shooting performance in the first from Fenerbahce. Still, Efes have only scored 10 points in 7 minutes. They're only 3 of 10 from the field. Guduric, back after not playing last week, awkwardly finds Wilbekin, who awkwardly steps on the line. And Fenerbahce have turned it over 4 times in 7 and a bit minutes as well. Efes with just 1 turnover. Everything going to plan for Tommy Mijatovic and his team so far, perhaps bar a few more conversions and the rub of the green from the officials. Larkin on the bounce and on the burst. Passes out, Hollatz for 3. Big shot, Justus Hollatz, who's playing a big part. A role player coming of age. Efes lead by 8 in the first 8 minutes. Motley in, passes on to Guduric. Sharas trying to find the right combinations. Picked up off the deck and put into the net by Scotty Wilbekin. Just the second field goal for Fener in 8 minutes. It closes the 8-point deficit down to 5. Larkin will try and cancel it out, and he does. Right in the grill of Wilbekin. Shane Larkin lands his first blow, and Efes lead by 8 again. The man who knocked down 10 threes out of 12 attempts in that 49-point performance in 2019. He and Wilbekin, 2 of the best outside shooters on the continent. But Efes lead by 8 on the road at Fenerbahce.
Playoff implications abound in this final regular season fixture. Every basket means more. We are going to have a raucous night tonight in this stadium.
How much do you love EuroLeague basketball?
There's all to play for tonight.
Well, how do you pick a game of the final round of the regular season when pretty much every game matters? But we've gone with Bologna against Baskonia. It could be crucial for those play-in positions. So much on the line. Efes will hope that a home game against Crvena Zvezda could see them into the play-ins. Fenerbahce, a huge game on the road in Piraeus against Olympiacos. 2 teams involved in that fight for top 4 places, which brings the reward of home court advantage in the playoffs. The mayor of Istanbul in the house tonight, part of the yellow legacy this evening. But we'll have a bit of support for the House of Blue as well, as he stays in neutral territory in a heated arena. Wilbekin's 3 immediately cancelled out by Larkin's 3. And Efes lead by 8 points, just over 8 minutes played. Guduric inbounding. Motley, Welbeck and Hayes-Davis, Pierre and Guduric on the floor for Fener. And Guduric looking to go coast to coast, bumping bodies and putting it in against the bigger Tibor Pleiss. Although he's come off worse for wear. Missed the game last week, Marko Guduric, only just coming back at full force. Coast to coast, but falling and perhaps twisting something. It's Fenerbahce's first two-point conversion of the game after 8 minutes and 12 seconds. And completes the three-point play, so all of their scores from the field have been threes. And they've closed the gap to 5. Larkin off the foot of Motley. He's been really efficient since Jasikevičius took over Jonathan Motley. Pretty much the same averages as under his predecessor Dimitris Itoudis, but in less playing time. Elijah Bryant, he's just come in for the first time off the back of that last time out, as has Derek Willis for Efes as well. Bryant balancing the baseline. Here is Willis trying to pass out of the corner, just about did. Time winding down on Pleiss. Is he aware? I'm not sure he was. And Efes commit the turnover. Only their second of the game as Fenerbahce turn up the defensive intensity. Efes on 4 fouls here, so any further fouls from their defense the rest of this period will send Fenerbahce to the line. Welbeck, he'll orchestrate the offense. Motley against Bryant, passes out. Guduric. Shot clock down to 6 here. Motley up against Bryant, foul. And that will take Efes to the limit. Bryant wanted to defend Motley, but the foul sends Motley to the line. Jonathan Motley, a 68% free throw shooter this season, 69% for his career. Pleiss goes to the bench. Tyreek Jones comes in, as does Rodrigue Beaubois. Clyburn and Larkin both sitting right now. Hayes-Davis and Calathes sitting for Fenerbahce. So Efes have Beaubois, Bryant, Thompson, who's in for the first time, Willis and Jones, who's in for the first time. And Motley makes both. So despite a very difficult 9 minutes, Fenerbahce closed the gap to 3. Final minute of the first. Elijah Bryant, third in PIR for Efes this season, taking the offensive responsibility, but not scoring. And Guduric playing like a warrior early on to try and turn the tide for Fener. Oh, Welbeck and Sestina, who's recently come in for the first time, not on the same page. Sestina going for the cut. Backdoor on the baseline. Welbeck in the pass to the corner. 5 first quarter turnovers for Fenerbahce. Beaubois. Willis, free man in the corner here is Thompson, puts it on the floor rather than taking the 3. The running hook doesn't go. Awkward fall for the high flyer Tyreek Jones. Couldn't handle it, and thankfully didn't get hurt. The weight of his body crumbling underneath as he arched his back. Now shot clock turned off, end of the first period. 8 to shoot. Scotty Welbeck in a man for these kind of moments. Guided by the center, Tyreek Jones, a mobile big man. Welbeck off the crossover, off one leg, off the mark. And Fenerbahce may have just produced the worst scoring quarter of their season. That will have to be checked. It'll certainly be one of the worst. But they only trail by 3 in a low-scoring derby. Fenerbahce 13, Efes 16 at the end of 1. Efes have led by as many as 8 here. Will Clyburn aggressive early on. He's got 6 of their 16. Nick Calathes doing his best to unlock this stubborn Efes defense. He hit a 3. And for so long, that was the only field goal for Fenerbahce. For around the first 8 minutes, I believe. Clyburn doing well for Efes. 2 of 3 from 2, 2 of 2 from the line for those 6 points. They led by as many as 8. But Fenerbahce, finding the right combination of players, have closed the gap down to 1 possession. Larkin hitting 1 of Efes's 2 threes so far. Fenerbahce have knocked down a couple of threes as well, but only 1 2-pointer. This one from Guduric, bursting towards the basket. Getting the and 1 as well. They've had a tough time. Only 3 of 12 shooting from the field for Fenerbahce, and 5 turnovers in the opening 10 minutes. They do have the advantage with 1 extra offensive rebound. Efes have committed 3 turnovers, more than they would like, and they've only shot 5 of 14 from the field. So low shooting percentages from the floor all round. A low scoring first 10 minutes. And Fenerbahce won't be too fazed by it, knowing there is so much they can still improve. Will Clyburn, your best performer of the first period, with those 6 points in just under 9 minutes on court, 2 rebounds and an assist as well for him for an 8 PIR, the highest of all players in the game. Teams with home court advantage in the playoffs historically have an 80% win rate in a 5-game series, 82% if you include the old 3-game series as well. That is why Fenerbahce so desperately want it, and Sestina comes up with a huge score for them to start the second as they get level from 8 down. Home court teams in a game 5 of those series are also a perfect 18-0 in the EuroLeague playoffs. Boubois in behind, the 36-year-old, looking to show he still had springs in his sneakers, but couldn't catch and convert. And then Motley with the fumble as Fener looked to move fast down the floor. Darius Thompson lobbing it up, and Boubois, what a play that would have been had he put it down. 36 years of age, renowned for his sharpshooting ability rather than his dunking ability. He makes that move off ball again. An excellent off ball player getting those shots. Thompson. Elijah Bryant for 3, rims out, and Motley the rebound. So Guduric, Sestina, Pierre, Wilbekin and Motley, the 5 for Fenerbahce here at the start of the second. Wilbekin couldn't believe how free he got for the 3, but he missed it. It's Boubois, Bryant, Thompson, Willis and Jones for Efes. And Jones is fouled off ball by Motley, who's not happy with the call. They are 2 physical, passionate players in the paint who will really go at it like a couple of bulls in Istanbul. In terms of the foul count, Hollatz has 2 for Efes, nobody else on more than 1. Chandler has 2 for Fenerbahce. Darius Thompson, footwork 3, short. Wilbekin looking to ignite the transition opportunity off the rebound, slips it into Motley, mismatch poked away by Bryant. What a great job Elijah Bryant does on the defensive end, guarding multiple positions, that time against the center Motley. Such a great all-round player. The 196 wing, Elijah Bryant. He's been a big loss for Efes at times this season. He's missed 11 games out of the first 33. A third of the season. Boubois lost the handle on it. It's not happening for him. A deadlock 12 minutes in. Fenerbahce and Guduric looking to break it. Tough shot. Got it again. Marko Guduric with a couple of tough buckets. At times he's not been at his best this season. But a man who went to back-to-back Final Fours with Fenerbahce in the Obradovic era, Marko Guduric, returned in 2020 after a year in the NBA with Memphis. He's played 4 playoff series with Fenerbahce. He will get a 5th under Šarūnas Jasikevičius this season. Boudoir, up fake, past Larkin, elevates in the paint this time off front iron. And Tyreek Jones with sheer force to put it in. Force of will to ensure the ball went in the basket. Tyreek Jones in that matchup with Motley, muscling him out of the way, getting the important tip for the important 2. They call basket interference as well. So actually the points won't count for Jones, but he certainly deserved them for that effort. Boudoir in the way. He's an excellent two-way player. Elijah Bryant in transition puts it in, and the Efes defense providing the platform again as they retake the lead. It's now 8 turnovers for Fenerbahce in 13 minutes of play. I just had to check that again because it seemed so unlikely. It is 8 turnovers for the home team. Now Pierre, little push shot, too heavy. And that time a foul on Jones as he goes over the line trying to outmuscle Motley. To put those 8 turnovers in perspective, Fenerbahce only average 11.8 turnovers a game. They've got 8 already here. Efes only averaged 10.4 a game. That's second best in the league. They've got 5 already. Pierre up against Bryant. Nice off-ball cut and bucket. And a big celebration from Nate Sestino, who is finding his place here at Fenerbahce. At times he's had a tough adaptation to the top tier, playing in the EuroLeague for the first time. But he's got 3 points. Make it 5 points now and a chance to add 1 more from the stripe. He could become Fenerbahce's top scorer. He's averaging 10 minutes a game in his first EuroLeague season, only 2.8 points. So he could more than double that in his 4.5 minutes on court. Motley's going to go out with Papagiannis coming in at centre for Fenerbahce. Papagiannis, the 2.20 meters Greek, had 12 points, 5 rebounds in 18 minutes in the win over Efes earlier in the season. He shot 6 of 7 from the field in that game. So Sestina misses the and 1. Fenerbahce 5 of 8 at the foul line. 20-20, a tie game again. Boudoir on the bounce, kicks it out. Willis checks his feet right in the corner, misses the shot. And Efes are only 2 of 8 from downtown. Pierre loves the post-ups, and he's fouled straight away by Thompson. First foul on Darius Thompson. The biggest acquisition by Efes in the summer, Thompson, to replace their former MVP Vasilija Micic, who departed for the NBA. Thompson's had a good solid season, but perhaps not as spectacular as many hoped. Wilbekin draws the double. Papagiannis, who's added the 3-point shot to his game, and he shows it. The 2.20 meters sniper, Yorgos Papagiannis. The floor stretcher for Fener. Tyreek Jones far too late on the closeout. Papagiannis makes him pay. Fener fans show their appreciation. Their team lead 23-20 from 8 down. Well, it has been raining threes here at times this season. Tonight has been tough, though. And Will Clyburn made it tough for Fenerbahce with his early performance for Efes. 6 points in 9 minutes. He's not returned since then off the bench. He remains their top scorer. And he remains the top scorer of all players in the game. We may well see Will off the back of this Tommy Mijatovic timeout. Clyburn 2 of 3 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line, 6 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover. The rest of his teammates really struggling with their shooting so far. Larkin 1 of 4, Bryant 1 of 3. Osmani's missed a couple of shots. Willis has missed his only shot. Thompson's missed both of his. Eustace Hollatz at 2 of 3 and Clyburn at 2 of 3. The best shooters so far for Efes. Now they trail. Bit of pressure up the floor from Fenerbahce. Elijah Bryant. Guarded by Biraric, who's back in. And slips as well. Thompson is free. Up fake past Guduric, who takes the foul. That's Fenerbahce's 3rd of the second period to tie the 3 of Efes. He's passed up a couple of threes, Thompson, to put the ball on the floor. Only shooting 34% from 3 this season. He was at 38% last season, his rookie year with Baskonia, when he also led the league in assists. Averaged 6.7 a game. He's only averaging 3 a game at Efes. His playing time is down under Tommy Mijatovic Thompson, but he's still had an impact when he's been on the floor. Willis, 3-point shot. Off the mark for Derek Willis. He's 0 of 2 now. And he's been Mr. Efficiency in his first year in the league. A 58-44-93 split. Papagiannis, same spot, guarded by Boudoir, off to Wilbekin. He'll then run interference. Wilbekin just pulls the trigger and hits the target as he usually does. Scotty Wilbekin raising the roof. And Fenerbahce raising their game as they lead by 6. Their defense has clamped down on Efes, and their shooters have shown up. Thompson this time does take the 3 and misses it. Fenerbahce living with that shot. What a pick-off, though, from Thompson, who takes it right through the challenge of Wilbekin to the rack. Making amends for his own miss, Darius Thompson, the steal and score. That was the 9th turnover from Fenerbahce. Biberovic takes it at Tyreek Jones, who forces the miss. Boudoir the rebound. Efes looking to play quickly before the Fenerbahce defense can set, but it does now. Tommy Mijatovic calls the play, slows it down. Brings Jones over for the screen. Bryant, Tyreek Jones on the high catch, baseline burst, and Derek Willis detonates the dunk. Beautiful team basketball from Efes. Tommy Mijatovic was orchestrating it from the bench. Guduric fumbles on his way through, but possession still with the home team. Efes have scored 4 points without reply since trailing by 6. Just a 2-point game. 6 was their largest lead after Efes led earlier by 8. Jones, the screen, then got it back, then passed it to Willis, the off-ball movement, and the emphatic finish to put the exclamation mark on a highlight reel team play. First score for Willis after a couple of missed threes. Final 4 minutes of the first half. A little slip. We've seen a few players slipping. I think always Fenerbahce players as well. Biberovic, hand at his face. Off the mark, Papagiannis off the mark as well. And Šarūnas Jasikavic just not happy. Well, his team are now 5 of 11 from 3-point range, despite a really slow start. They've only hit 3 twos. Remember, 3-point shooting was the difference in their favor in the reverse meeting at the Sinan Erdem Dome earlier in the season. The officials are going to go and have a look at this. Let's listen in.
Go back. Oh, he was on time for sure. Yes. Does give us the clock. Foul is on time. Does give us the clock to see the time. Last contact is already.
No, we must go back.
348.
No, a little bit back. We need to find the moment of the contact, please.
So the shot clock didn't reset because the 3 from Biberovic was an air ball, didn't hit the rim. And Papagiannis got it and was fouled in the final second of the shot clock. There wasn't an indication there that that was a coach's challenge, just a look at the video by the officials of their own decision, and Fenerbahçe will get it with Papagiannis at the line. We talked about him adding a three-point shot to his game. He was already a 64% two-point shooter, and then last season he went 18 of 37 from 3 for 49%, having only shot 1 of 10 from 3 his first 5 EuroLeague seasons. A total of only 10 threes and only 1 converted in 5 years, and then last season, all of a sudden, 18 of 37. This season he's now 16 of 28, getting up to around 60% from 3. One of 2 at the line though. Fenerbahçe by 3. Bryant on the attack. Tyreek Jones on the attack. Ball wouldn't stay in, but it was a foul, and Fenerbahçe's 4th, though both teams are at 4 fouls now here in the second. The next one from either defense will send the opposition offense to the foul line all the way until half-time. Second personal on Biberovic. He joins Chandler on 2. And for Efes, Elijah Bryant and Justus Hollatz both have 2. Well, they know each and every point could be pivotal, not just tonight, but in their season as a whole. As Bryant is able to keep Efes perfect at 6 of 6 from the line. Fenerbahçe have missed 4, they're 6 of 10. They lead by 1. Calathes yet to assist in this game. Papagiannis takes it forcefully through the challenge of Tyreek Jones. Volley ball from the big man. Yorgos Papagiannis just bulldozing his way through one of the most physical players in the competition. So Papagiannis, who's added that three-point shot to his game, now has a chance at a three-point play the old-fashioned way, and he's made an impact against Efes again. Jones sent to the bench after picking up his second foul. Dano Turu, the third option at centre for Efes, comes in. In many ways, a similar type of player with his athleticism and physicality. He's really burst onto the EuroLeague scene as a mid-season arrival for Efes, and they tried to patch up the gaps of all of their injuries. Boudoir short on the shot. Larkin first to the rebound. Smallest man on the floor. Final 3 minutes of the first half. Second chance scoring opportunity for Efes. Clyburn back in, and his spell on the bench has done little to douse out his flame. Straight back in, straight back scoring. 9 points in 10 minutes for Clyburn. The 3 ties us up at 29. And then Calathes uncharacteristically throws it away. The man who ranks 6th all-time in assist-turnover ratio. That is turnover number 10 for Fenerbahçe in the first half. Again, their season average is 11.8 a game. Thompson fouled by Dorsey. This has become a touch-tight, foul-by-foul, point-by-point Istanbul battle now towards the end of the first half. Both teams at the foul limit. Thompson at the foul line for the first time. And there's Efes' first miss. Darius Thompson now only 1 of 4 from the field, 0 of 1 at the stripe. Recovers to hit the second. And Efes are ahead. And that is the 5th lead change. Calathes 4 points, 0 assists for Nick. Guided by the centre Oturu. Welbecken wasn't challenged by Larkin but missed it. Larkin didn't get up to challenge the shot. Thompson. Clyburn against Hayes-Davis. That could be a key matchup if those two guard each other. Osmani. Oturu. 5 on the shot clock here for Efes. Larkin, the off-ball movement, takes it on the handoff and attacks. And a foul on Deshaun Pierre before the block from Papagiannis. The foul is on Pierre. It comes here. And then Papagiannis, it would have counted with the block. The ball was still on the way up. But the chronology does not favour Fener. So Larkin at the line has only scored 3 points. His first trip to the stripe. He's got 3 rebounds and 2 offensive rebounds. That is not his game. He's 5th in the league in scoring this season, 17.3 points. He's 7th in the league in assists at 5.1 a game. And he's 5th in the league, knocking down 2.6 threes a night. That all equates to being the league leader in index rating. Hayes-Davis versus Larkin. We didn't expect it to be an out-and-out head-to-head matchup in terms of position when we highlighted those two players pre-game. We did so because they have the top 2 scoring performances in EuroLeague history. Larkin, 49 points back in November of 2019, and Hayes-Davis with 50 here last week. Larkin still remains the only player to ever have 2 40-point games in this competition. The 49 and a 40 that came in the same season. He made 10 threes in both of those games. He's also the only man ever to hit 10 on 2 occasions. 10 is the single game record for 3-pointers made. Hayes-Davis was 1 off that in his 50-point performance last week. His first 2 points tonight come with 1.5 minutes to play in the first half, after he'd missed his first 2 field goal attempts. Clyburn taking it at Pierre on the turn. And Calethes the rebound. Efes retreating as fast as they can. Calethes the scoop, not the score, but Papagiannis with the flying follow. Yorgos Papagiannis has 8 points in 5.5 minutes. Fenerbahçe ahead, and Papagiannis has the steal as well. Larkin losing his head and losing the ball, and Hayes-Davis digging the dagger in. The first field goal for Mr. 50 in the derby. Fans on their feet in celebration for a very different reason here tonight, as opposed to the reason last week here. That was about the 50 of Hayes-Davis. This is about a derby day win. And Fenerbahçe, final minute of the first half, have just gone up by 4 points in a nip and tuck game. They've had a vital contribution from Marko Guduric on his return to the side tonight. Playing at both ends with plenty of passion. He's got 5 points, which is only bettered by Papagiannis and Welbecken. Really showing no fear and no nerves. The 5 points coming perfectly as well. 2 of 2 from the field, 1 of 1 out the line. He's got 2 rebounds and an assist. 1 turnover, the only real blemish on that stat line in his 9 minutes and 14 seconds on court so far. Had a career year last season, Marko Guduric. Down on those numbers this season, but still a very important piece of the Fenerbahçe puzzle. Fenerbahçe leading 36-32. 45 seconds to play in the first half. Osmani, well, Pleiss was there. Right place, right time. Otherwise, it would have been a turnover. Osmani really struggling to keep the handle on the ball. Larkin, who turned it over the last time. Pressure applied to him again. That was Larkin's first turnover on that previous Efes possession. The team's 6th, but Fenerbahçe have committed 10. That time the ball off the foot of his opponent. Thompson. Darius Thompson, a lengthy guard, has the height advantage over Wilbekin. Wilbekin got back to challenge the shot. Kalethe's the rebound. They've stopped going down for Efes now. There's only a 3-second differential between shot clock and game clock, end of the first half, so these fans wait anxiously and excitedly on the edge of their seats here in Istanbul with the ball in the hands of Scotty Wilbekin, who lives these moments. But not that time. Kalethe's blocked from behind by Thompson. And that embellishes how much of a defensive battle it's been here in Istanbul. It's only a 4-point game and a low-scoring game at 36-32. Fenerbahçe at the main break. Stay with us as we get some reaction at the end of the first half here. We're going to hear from the Efes camp first. Here's Will Clyburn.
Well, we've seen a great communication between the teammates, obviously on the court and sharing the ball, but what to do and put on the court as a defensive side of the game?
A lot of miscommunication. We can't give up wide open threes. That's probably the biggest thing, just no wide open shots.
Thank you.
Clyburn, the top scorer in the game so far with 9 points. 2 of 4 from 2. Hit is only 3, and he's 2 of 2 from the line as well, playing 13 minutes. Yorgos Papagiannis, the top scorer for Fenerbahçe.
Yorgos, other than obviously avoiding the turnovers, 10 turnovers during the second quarter and the first quarter as well, what else to put on the court?
I mean, we started the game really sloppy. Efes, has great players, great system to play, but as you mentioned, we had a lot of turnovers, especially on offense. We have to continue being better in the second half to win this game.
Thank you.
He's certainly done his bit. The 8 points coming in less than 7 minutes on court for Yorgos Papagiannis. 3 of 3 from the field, including a 3. Only 1 of 3 at the line, but also 3 rebounds, 2 offensive rebounds and a steal. His 12 PIR is the highest of all players in the game. Clyburn's 9 points is the highest of all players. He's also got a couple of rebounds and a 10 PIR, the best for the travelling team Anadolu Efes. It's Fenerbahçe who lead 36-32 over Efes at half-time in the Istanbul Derby.
Turkish Airlines, BKT, Adidas, Squeak.com, and Motorola. Official global sponsors in association with the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague.
Well, Efes' defensive intensity early on disrupted the home court freight train that is Fenerbahçe. They were held to only 13 points in the first period, Fenerbahçe, but Efes only scored 16, albeit having had an 8-point lead at one point in that period. But in the second, Fenerbahçe started to fire the way they usually do here. They had 23 points in the second. Efes held to 16 again. Fenerbahçe leading by as many as 6. And Šarūnas Jasikevičius' team lead by 4 after 20 minutes of play. Papagiannis, their main contributor, making a big impact in so many different areas. And he's had a couple of the plays of the game so far. 3-point shooting crucial for Fenerbahçe. 6 triples on 15 attempts so far tonight in a tight, low-scoring game. They lead 36-32, 40% three-point shooting, only 38% from two, and that is helping to make up for the 10 turnovers in the first half for Fenerbahce, which is 4 more than Efes, but they've cancelled that out as well with 4 extra offensive rebounds. They lead the offensive rebounding count 7-3. Efes struggling with their shot. Apart from at the foul line, will want to really raise, in particular, the three-point shooting percentage in the second half. Half-time, Fenerbahce 36, Anadolu Efes 32, here in the Istanbul Derby at the Ülker Sports and Event Hall.
Nigel Hayes-Davis has made this a night to remember, a legendary performance.
I always tell people basketball is the best job in the world. It's one of 2 jobs I think everyone in the world would want to do, and the other being like a famous musician. And it's funny because those 2 jobs always wish they were the other one. Like if I could be The Weeknd or Drake, yeah, I would. Basketball, sports in general, but especially basketball, I think is one of the sports that closely lines akin to life. I really like the one-on-one battle within the team game. The pride you take in not letting your man score, or the pride you feel in scoring on your man. For me personally, my biggest pride is not being tired. So I take pride in trying to be as conditioned as possible, and like, I'm not gonna be tired before you. Just being in front of the fans, the entertainment aspect is great. You know, to see fans there cheering for you, the highs and lows of the game that it has, being able to feed off the crowd. It's fantastic. Like I said, best job in the world. Up here, let's go. Ooh, come on. This is my best friend, look at that. Here you go. Hi. This is great, I feel like Dr. Evil. Sly, his mother was a stray cat and gave birth to 4 kittens, Sly being one of them, in the arena last year. A lot of people helped out to raise them and make sure they got what they needed, and everyone knows I love cats. So it was an opportunity for me to be a pet father for the first time. I'm very nervous, not gonna lie. After the kittens were old enough, you know, and it was time for them to find a home, I took Sly. Why Sly? Because he was the only one that was gray, and Sly was the odd one out. And he was also the rambunctious one. So as a kid, when the cat like runs up to you and they're all playful, you're like, oh, it's so cute. But now that he's big, it's like, all right, buddy, calm down. You know, a little too much excitement. I love him so much though. Yes, I do. Come here, nose rub. That's how we kiss, we give nose rubs. My Instagram was blowing up. You have from everything from like the serious cat owners who are like telling me this should be done. And then you have the people that are like, oh, you're so cute. Cat dads are so cute. And obviously they are, like cat dads are the best because, well, hi. Because you have to be patient with a cat. I mean, you have to let cats come to you, which I think is something that people respect in a man that, you know, allows things to happen. Because this cat he will give me love when he wants to. This will only last a couple minutes, but this is why it's worth it to have a cat. 2 minutes of this is like, okay, I'll put up with everything else. I talk about it all the time with my guys. Like, can you imagine when we were in high school together, I think I'd be playing basketball in Turkey, speaking Turkish outside? Absolutely not, but that's life though. Life's beautiful like that. There's journeys that you have no idea you're gonna take.
Nigel Hayes-Davis, history maker, the first ever 50-point game in the EuroLeague.
Legacy is not as important as impact and how people remember you. Kobe Bryant said, rest in peace, that inspiring someone else and being an inspiration is the greatest human act. Did you help people? Did you leave the world a better place? What was Nigel's stats in high school? I don't know, but Nigel came back to his high school and gave a free basketball camp. And all the parents would come and look you in their eye and tell you, thanks for doing this for my kid. You know, they loved it. It was the best part of their summer. I hope you do it again. Does your kid know who I am? No? Does he know what college I went to? Absolutely not. Does he know where Turkey is on the map? Of course not. But he knows Nigel came here and gave him a free basketball, a free t-shirt, free lunch, and they had a good time. So it's not to be the best forward in Europe, it's to be the best Nigel, which also happens to be a lot better than most players. So be the best Nigel, try to do my best to help my team win, and hopefully things go our way, we can win a championship this year. If not, you know, you come back, try to improve a little more, and keep going. That's the goal.
Told you it's going to be a good one.
Turkish Airlines, BKT, Adidas, Squeak.com, and Motorola. Official global sponsors in association with the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague.
Welcome back to the Ülker Sports and Event Hall in Istanbul. Half-time in a low-scoring derby. Fenerbahçe 36, Anadolu Efes 32. It's been a single-digit game throughout. Efes early on by as many as 8. Fenerbahçe in the second by as many as 6. The travelling team from across the Bosphorus led by Will Clyburn's 9 points in 13 minutes of play so far. It was a strong start from him. And he went to the bench after the first 9 minutes, didn't return for a long time, came back in and hit a 3. Fenerbahçe, the better team in the second period. And you always look in a tight game at the plus-minuses. Efes ahead with Clyburn on the floor. They also have a +8 with Justus Hollatz in the team. They did well with that line that started, including Clyburn along with Pleiss and Osmani. Efes in a positive with those players so far. Many of them didn't play in the second. Urios Papagiannis, one of the game changers to turn the tide in Fenerbahçe's favour. 8 points in less than 7 minutes for him. Perfect field goal shooting. 3 rebounds and a couple of offensive rebounds as well. Fenerbahçe were +4 with him on the floor. So many different moving parts for both of these teams that can change the direction and the dynamic of this fascinating tussle to the finish. Well, look at the line on Urios Papagiannis, who's been used in somewhat of a horses for courses approach by Šarūnas Jasikevičius, the head coach. Sometimes doesn't play much, sometimes has a big impact, and tonight it is the latter. Let's get some reaction from the two head coaches tonight. We're going to hear from the Efes head coach, Tomislav Mijatovic, first.
Coach, when you check the stats during the halftime, what would you like to underline for your team?
Well, we talked before the game. We need to pay attention to small things, small details. Offensive rebounds, put back, no easy transition points. We did a very solid job for the most part, but then we had a couple of, let's say, letdowns on that end. We need to correct that and keep attacking. We said it's a 40 minutes game in order to reach our goal, which is to win the game.
Thank you.
Yeah, he won't be happy with these shooting percentages that we're about to see, but he will be happy with the defensive effort. They've forced 10 turnovers on Fenerbahçe. They could improve in terms of their rebounding. They've allowed Fenerbahçe to grab 7 offensive rebounds while only grabbing 10 defensive boards themselves. But they're only down 4, and those shooting percentages should improve. They usually shoot the ball very well. Here's Šaras.
Coach, pre-game interview, you mentioned intensity. So right now, when you check, what mistakes to avoid for the second half?
Well, I mean, intensity is kind of okay. I think it's a little bit not enough for this type of game. But we're not playing our basketball, especially offensively. I mean, we had 10 turnovers, 5 assists. We stuck everybody trying to solve the situation by themselves. We need to start moving the ball, play our basketball, play for one another a little bit more.
Thank you.
He has the top offensive team on the continent right now in terms of offensive rating. Efes not too far behind, though, in third place. These two Istanbul clubs up there with Real Madrid in that regard, but it's not quite happened for Fenerbahce so far tonight. Both of these teams average over 85 points per game, but a 36-32 half-time score. A lot of Fenerbahce's points coming on the perimeter, more threes than twos, and at a better accuracy so far as well. They've got 7 second chance points, importantly, off the back of those 7 offensive rebounds that we were talking about. On the shortest driving route, there's 27.7 kilometers between Efes's Sinan Erdem Sports Hall on the European side of the Bosphorus and Fenerbahce's Ulka Sports and Event Hall here on the Asian side. Who's going to take home the Derby win? It's a half-hour drive late night, but to get here for this game in rush hour, typically anywhere from an hour to 2. Well worth the trip. One of the biggest games of the EuroLeague regular season. Yorgos Papagiannis punching his presence all over it. The best performer of the second period, 8 points, 3 rebounds in the game, 12 PIR points. They all came in that second quarter. Fenerbahce have had a bit of extra time to prepare for this game. They were meant to play Besiktas on Tuesday, but that game was postponed due to Game 3 of the Euro Cup semi-finals, so they've had a full week to prepare. Efes did play on Tuesday in 1, although they rested Larkin, Pleiss, Bryant, Jones, Willis and Hollatz for that domestic game. It put them 1 win ahead of Fenerbahce at the top of the Turkish league standings, albeit Fenerbahce with a game to play. They're touch tight, these two, in their domestic league, and they're touch tight here tonight, but Hayes-Davis looking to open up a gap. And a big shot towards the end of the first half, another big one towards the start of the second. He's level with Papagiannis now on 8 points as their top scorer. Efes 22-3 at the top of the Turkish league now as the defending champions. Fenerbahce 21-3. Fenerbahce beat Efes recently to win the Turkish Cup as well. So these two talented teams really do have an ongoing regular rivalry across both domestic and continental competition. This is Fenerbahce's largest lead at 7. Larkin, 5 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal in the first half. Misses the shot at the start of the second offensive rebound. They're only the 4th of the game for Efes. They've given up 8. Clyburn puts the first foul. In fact, the second foul on Fenerbahce after just 62 seconds of the first half. Nobody in the game for either team has more than 2 fouls at the moment. That was Pierre's second. Tibor Pleiss back to Larkin. Pleiss only played around 10 minutes of the first half. Larkin slipping, recovering into a pack of yellow jerseys, finding Pleiss, who scores. Second assist for Larkin, first points for Pleiss. Efes did have a positive plus-minus with Pleiss on the floor over those 10 first half minutes, despite not scoring. And that's an offensive foul against Papagiannis. His first foul, so no individual foul trouble, but his team's 3rd already in the 3rd quarter. Shane Larkin runs into a yellow brick wall. A chance for Efes to get back-to-back scores, to really get back in touch. Down 5. Larkin. This time he takes the 3, not challenged, knocks it down. Shane Larkin from deep, and he's got 8 points. Efes from 7 down to within 2. And the foul count in their favor as well. Now Papagiannis. Well, he couldn't convert. Calathes usually gets that spot on. They'll try and upgrade to a 3, and that won't go either. The roll of the rim, the roll of the ball, in favour of Efes at the start of the second half. Wilbekin doing his best getting back, ultimately to no avail. Still Efes possession. They started the first half well, they've started the second half well. Clyburn's inbound, down the baseline. Nice finish, Osmani, as he puts it in on the reverse and catches the Fenerbahce defense napping. That will not please Šarūnas Jasikevičius as Efes on a 7-0 surge come from 7 down to tie. Wilbekin on the flyby sends Larkin into the front row. Scotty Wilbekin has 3 threes. He's looking to celebrate his 31st birthday in style tonight. He's put Fenerbahce back ahead. Osmani taking it at Papagiannis, who's not budging, but Osmani, crafty, couldn't convert as Wilbekin knocks it away from the rim, and Calathes going through the gears. 3-point shot. Off the mark this time. Rebound pops into the hands of Papagiannis. That was off a missed 3 of Hayes-Davis. Here he is now. He can score in so many different ways. Post-up opportunity on the block. Foul on Larkin. Both of these clubs just in fine form. They've won 8 of their last 12 in the EuroLeague. An identical record in that period. And over that period of games, only Monaco, Panathinaikos and Olympiacos can boast a better record. Wilbekin, the bounce, the skip, the pass, Papagiannis. Lovely play, Hayes-Davis behind the back pass. Airball, Papagiannis from downtown. Clyburn. It's tough for shooters to find rhythm in such a tight and intense physical game. Larkin on the ball movement, penetrates the paint, looks to draw a crowd. Hollat's far side. Clyburn, 3-point shot over the top of Papagiannis, who gave him room to fire. Will Clyburn has 12 points, and Efes are level again. Wilbekin now Fenerbahce's leader with 9 on those 3 threes. Calathes, he's got 3 assists. This time takes it in for the score. And that's the problem for the defense. When you're as good passing the ball as Calathes is, they have to watch every potential receiver. And sometimes the path is open for him to get the points all for himself. Battle down in the corner. And Calathes on defense should not be underestimated. The all-time leader in steals swipes it away from Pleiss, who does his best to throw his 7-foot frame down. But Calathes able to win a vital possession for his team. Wilbekin looking to get free for the 3 again. Looking to feed it inside to Motley. Maybe could have taken the 3 that time. 12 turnovers for Fenerbahce, already over their season average for a game. Clyburn, same spot, different outcome, as he misses from the outside for the first time, having hit his previous 2. Was going for that steal as the pass took a long time to reach Calathes. Wilbekin. Hayes-Davis. Free path opens up towards the paint, but he can't get his geometry right. Hayes-Davis, 2 of 6 from the field tonight. Hollatz. Bounce pass, Osmani. Nice inside-outside play from Efes, and the 7-foot sniper, Tibor Pleiss, knocks it down. Pleiss, who didn't play in that previous EuroLeague meeting between these 2 city rivals. He's been really important for Efes when he has been available this season. He's just got them ahead. Wilbekin gets Fenerbahce back in front. It's a 3-point shootout. 4 of 8 on the outside now, Scotty Wilbekin. Fenerbahce by 2. We've now had 8 lead changes. Osmani can't cultivate another. There is going to be some tension in the Istanbul air if it remains this close into the fourth period and towards the finish line. There's a foul underneath as Pleiss was going for the offensive rebound. It's on Hayes-Davis. So Fenerbahce have now committed 4 team fouls here in the third quarter already. We'll have a timeout. They lead 47-45. Time for your Turkish Airlines flight time play of the game. Elijah Bryant, Tyreek Jones, ball movement, off-ball movement, and Derek Willis putting the exclamation mark on the team play. The baseline burst, big finish. Derek Willis, who's having an impressive rookie year at this level. Those is only 2 points off this game, however, on 1 of 3 shooting. Not many players have been able to live up to their typical efficiency. Willis missed 9 games mid-season. There's a look at the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague app. You can get it on your smartphone if you're quick enough to catch the QR code. If not, find it in the App Store. There are teams, as I mentioned earlier, who've had more injuries, more players miss games this season than Efes, but Efes all came at once. An avalanche of injuries that ultimately buried their new head coach at the start of the season, Erdem Can. But Efes now are trying to fight out and keep life in their playoff lungs. Remarkable, they've got up into the final play-in position. They did look dead and buried a couple of months ago. Larkin on the crossover, takes it at Motley and scores. Shane Larkin showing no fear in the land of the Giants. He absorbs the contact from the big physical center and puts it in on his way down as Motley almost tumbles on top of him. Larkin hits 10. The third player in the game into double figures, 10 for him, 12 each for Clyburn and Wilbekin. There's a bit to sort before he takes this and one opportunity. It seems as though he's having to go to the bench. There must be blood on the elbow. So Shane Larkin has to check out with an and-1 to come. Boubois, his replacement, will take it. Boubois, an 82% free throw shooter this season. This will be his first attempt tonight. The team are 9 of 10. Bit of pressure coming straight in off the bench. Boubois, just an excellent shooter, though. And a player who's seen it all. Had a 40-point game in the NBA earlier in his career. Part of Efes' back-to-back EuroLeague title-winning teams here. Guduric takes the 3 and knocks it down. Marko Guduric continuing to have a big night. That's 8 perfect points and some important hustle plays in 9.5 minutes. Fenerbahce by 2, another lead change. Osmani, past Motley, the Euro step, lost it. Clyburn recovers and puts it in. 50-50 on the night of 50 versus 49. Here is Mr. 50, right on cue. Hayes-Davis backing in, turning, not scoring. Maybe not his night tonight. Boubois in transition, bounce pass, Clyburn, they'll wait for the trailer. Pleiss late to catch up with the play. So they have to play 5-on-5 in the half court, 10 to shoot. Clyburn takes it over the top of Biberovic, pops out. And Kalethes, who's rebounded well tonight. He always passes well. Motley, how about the effort from Osmani to get back, running the full length of the floor. and ensure that Motley didn't have the open finish. Before that, Calathes grabbed his 6th rebound. Biberovic not biting on the moves from Osmani. Well, Efes really will want to clamp down and lock in these 2 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the third quarter, because Fenerbahçe are at the foul limit already. And Efes have only committed 1. They've got 3 fouls to burn on defense to play as aggressively as they can, Tommy Mijatovic's team. And if they play aggressively on the offensive end, they could earn plenty of trips to the foul line. It's their opportunity to tighten the screw on their hosts. Let's listen in to the officials' review here.
Legal?
Yeah, he jumps from...
Yeah, he jumps from
inside,
this.
yeah.
But he didn't ever touch the auto basket. Where is the ball? They don't have a clear possession.
Yes, clear.
He has to go to the jump ball.
Yes. No. They have the possession of the ball.
Who?
Efes.
Let's go. Go ahead. You see this blue player touching. We have the whistle. I think it's the best decision to go with the jump ball. There is no clear possession.
Okay,
we go with the jump ball. Yes.
You hear the explanation of the officials. That one was on a coach's challenge. And they're going to go with a jump ball. With this game locked level at 50. The Fenerbahçe mascot yellow, part of the yellow legacy here at the Ulka Sports and Event Hall. Efes have crossed the Bosphorus from the House of Blue. And both teams need a win for their regular season ambitions. Sherinic Jasikavic hoping that home fans can help Fenerbahçe fuel a big finish. Remember, they're 15-1 at home this season. They've won each of their last 8 at home. And conversely, Efes are only 3 of 13 on the road. Only Alba, the bottom side in the EuroLeague, have a worse away record than Efes. They'd lost 8 in a row away from home until they won at Baskonia last week, and by an astonishing 21 points. Motley, he'll take it at Tyreek Jones. Basket won't count. Foul on the floor, and it's only Efes' second. Tyreek Jones has struggled to get into the game. That's 3 fouls in 8 minutes on court for him. 0 rebounds. 0 points, 0 shots. Corner 3 off the mark from Guduric, and that is his first miss of the game. Hollands up against Calathes. Youngster versus Master. Shot clock down to the final 5 here. Hollands will take the deep 3. Efes really didn't engineer anything on that offense, but Clyburn bails them out on the baseline. Oh, Clyburn putting together an impressive individual night. 14 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. He grabs it, his toe right towards the line. He throws it off the body of his opponent. His toe must have been on the line. Fenerbahçe have possession. 100 seconds to play in the third. It's a 14-18 third quarter in Efes' favour. It's their best offensive period of the game, Efes, so far, with those 18 points. Only scored 16 in each of the first and second. Their defense has clamped down on Fenerbahçe again after Fenerbahçe did what they usually do in the second period. Now Motley in behind. Jonathan Motley with a rare free route to the rim. Wilbekin drew the defense like moths to a flame. Motley burns them up top. And then the defense burns Efes as well. Eighth turnover on Efes. Larkin doing his best to save it, so too Boubois, but to no avail. Larkin. Wilbekin lighting the fuse. Motley detonating the dunk. His first field goal. Wilbekin's third assist. Guduric. Hesitation on the bounce into a pack. Can't pick up the points. Bryant the rebound. Final minute of the third. Efes down 2. Larkin. He turns it over again. Guduric in the way again. Larkin takes it right back. Not backing down from this defensive duel. Larkin, pull-up 3 this time. Too long. Offensive rebound, Boubois. Fresh 14 for Efes. A bit of frustration from the Fenerbahce fans. Clyburn, 5 to shoot, up against Sestina. Passes on. Bryant did well to stay in bounds. Boubois free in the corner. End of the shot clock, can't convert. Where he usually does, but Efes battle away again to earn another 14. Might well be a 24. Rodrigue Boubois misses his first three-point attempt of the game. So Sestina's hand on the ball puts it out. So rather than a 14 off the offensive rebound, well, it's a foul because they've called the foul and Fenerbahce are at the limit. So Jones is at the line. Forget the out-of-bounds situation. They called the foul, which is Fenerbahce's 6th. It means that essentially Fenerbahce have the full shot clock left to finish the third quarter. Tyreek Jones misses his first shot of any kind tonight. A 67% free throw shooter in what has been a very solid rookie EuroLeague year. He's averaged 7.7 points, a team second best 4.4 rebounds, a league 12th best 2 offensive rebounds. He's 5th on the team in average PIR, but it's not been his night so far. He does at least get his first point. He's replaced by Dano Turu. Papagiannis in for Motley at centre for Fenerbahce. Now Wilbekin will look to dictate the tempo here. He goes quickly and he knows that Efes have fouls to use up. Efes edging this period by 3 so far, closing a 4-point halftime deficit to 1. Fenerbahce have done pretty well though to ride out the foul trouble, but they turn it over and leave Efes plenty of time. Again, that's the advantage of Efes having room in the foul count. Towards the end of this third quarter, they're able to play aggressively on defense, apply pressure to Fenerbahce, and they force the 14th turnover on their hosts through 3 quarters of play. That's a huge number. Efes have had 5 fewer turnovers. 17 seconds for Efes to try and take the lead again, entering the final 10 minutes. Shane Larkin, 5 to shoot. Larkin passes on, Oturu, Clyburn, he's had the hot hand, 3-point shot won't go. And Fenerbahce will go into the 4th with the faintest of advantages. At the end of 3, Fenerbahce 52, Anadolu Efes 51 in a must-win Istanbul Derby for both teams. Efes edging the third period despite going down early by 7 points. As Hayes-Davis got the first score of the second half for Fenerbahce, extended a 4-point halftime lead to 7. That was their largest lead of the game, Fenerbahce, but Efes came roaring back on a 7-0 run, tied it up. And from there, these two Turkish giants traded blows, several of them on the perimeter, and traded leads as well. We've had 10 lead changes in the game. No lead larger than 7 for Fenerbahce or 8 for Efes. (52-51) at the end of 3 as we see the numbers. Fenerbahce still struggling on the interior, Efes still struggling on the perimeter. In terms of the possession counts, 5 extra turnovers for Fenerbahce, but also 4 extra offensive rebounds to almost make amends. It is touch tight, and it's going to go down to the final 10 minutes and perhaps go down to the wire. Tibor Pleiss, your best performer of the third period, coming back in after a positive start to the game, didn't really play the second. Pleiss with all 5 of his points in that quarter, hit a 2 and a 3 on his only 2 attempts. A couple of rebounds. Just to remind you what's on the line here in Istanbul tonight, Fenerbahce desperately want top 4 for home court advantage in the playoffs. It could make the difference in them getting to their first Final Four since 2019, their first since the Željko Obradović era. To do that, they need to win surely their last 2 games, because it's so tight between them, Panathinaikos, Olympiacos, Barcelona and Monaco. 5 teams who started this penultimate round of fixtures separated by only 1 win from 2nd down to 6th. And Efes were also part of a group of teams separated by only 1 win. 5 more teams separated by only 1 win. They were at the top of that pack in the last play-in position in 10th. If they lose tonight, they would lose the final play-in place to Partizan, and Dan Oturu is not hanging around in the 4th. Instead, he's getting some hang time. Oturu with the explosive rack attack. Efes initiate the 11th lead change of the derby. Guduric taking a mid-air shoulder charge from Beaubois. It's not intentional. There's nothing Beaubois can do after he leaves his feet. Guduric taking a whack to the side of the head, however. It's the up fake that does Beaubois, but ultimately he comes off worse for wear. It's a whiplash effect. Just the regular foul. Guduric then losing it. Great to see he's moving fine. He's 2nd for Fenerbahce in terms of PIR right now, Guduric. He's done pretty much only good things when he's been on the floor in his 13.5 minutes. He's got a chance to move to double figures in points now. He's over his season scoring average of 8.8 points per game now. There's going to be a few nerves jangling at the Ulka Sports and Event Hall here tonight. And also, for many who prefer wearing blue, watching on TV at home. Travelling fans not in the house for this derby. It's a sea of yellow. Can Efes survive it? Down 1, 12 lead changes now. Beaubois, he's had a tough night. Sends Papagiannis skidding, back out. Bryant, 3-point shot off. Batted back by Clyburn, but into the back court. They're allowed to recover it with Larkin. Fenerbahce fans can't believe the no call. Larkin will take it at Papagiannis. Takes the ring road around Papagiannis, almost caught in his gravitational pull. And Dan Oturu has 2 baskets in the 4th, having not scored the whole of the game before that. But Šarūnas Jasikevičius and this sold-out Fenerbahce crowd do not understand why there was not a backcourt violation. And what I would say is there was a big call that went in their favour earlier on. That might have gone Efes' way. But Anadolu, 4 points in the fourth period already on his first 2 shot attempts of the game. He picked up 3 fouls, or 2 fouls very early on. He's just picked up his third. He's only played 4.5 minutes. It really is score for score, lead for lead, back and forth, 8.5 to play. Larkin getting some words of wisdom from Tommy Mijatovic, who he's described as the most positive guy he's ever met. Mijatovic has been at Efes since 2010. He's been an assistant under Velimir Parasovic, Dusan Ivkovic, Ergin Ataman, winning 2 EuroLeague championships. He replaced Erdem Can 4 months into this season. Efes are a perfect 5-0 at home under Tommy Mijatovic, 1-2 on the road. There's a bit of sorting out to be done here before Fenerbahce have the chance for yet another lead change. Looks like Guduric at the line. He's got 10 points now, only behind the 12 of Wilbekin for Fenerbahce. There's 2 double-digit scorers for Efes, 14 for Clyburn, 10 for Larkin. Larkin, under plenty of pressure, has put together a good all-round performance through 3 periods of play. 10 points, 4 rebounds, 3 offensive rebounds, 3 assists and 2 steals. These will be tough free throws for Guduric after such a long wait. This really is crunch time in the most competitive regular season imaginable. Efes under Ataman carved out a reputation for a team that make late pushes for the postseason. Can they do so even after his era? Larkin on the burst. It is the ultimate test for them here tonight against their neighbours in Istanbul. Larkin, guarded by Guduric, turns it over for the 4th time tonight. Efes looking to become just the 2nd visiting team to win here all season. Crvena Zvezda, the only team to do it. 15 wins from 16 home games for Fenerbahce. Up fake, Sestina passes on. Wilbekin has 4 threes tonight. Guarded by Larkin. Wilbekin! Bryant the rebound. Elijah Bryant fouled by Sestina. So Wilbekin's 4 of 9 on the outside now. Fenerbahce are 10 of 24. 10 threes. They've only converted 7 twos. They're only shooting 33% from 2. Clyburn. Uturu rolls into the paint. Papagiannis late to get to him. Clyburn, the floater, doing a bit of window shopping while absorbing the contact. Will Clyburn with a huge night in the derby. The biggest miss of all those injured Efes players, but looking very much back to his best now. And doing it on the biggest stage. Raced in to try and grab his own rebound, but Guduric got there first and raced away. 4-on-3 momentarily. Guduric short, Papagiannis again. Continuing to pick up the pieces on the opposing backboard. He's got 7 offensive rebounds. 10 points, 8 rebounds total for Papagiannis. Nudges Fenerbahce back ahead with 7 minutes to play. Oturu, Boubois down the baseline, finished over the top of the shot blocker Papagiannis. Rodri Boubois, just his 2nd field goal. And Efes ahead again, 17 lead changes now. A huge proportion of them coming in this period. Papagiannis steps back, sends Boubois flying, turns it over to Clyburn. Now Boubois down the floor, Larkin to the trailer, and Clyburn puts it in, surfing some skin. He rubs salt in Guduric's wounds as he physically and forcefully takes off over the top of him. Will Clyburn, through the defense, makes it an 18-point night for him and a chance to give Efes a 2-possession lead, which in the landscape of this derby is a huge one. Timeout, Fenerbahce 58, Efes 61. Shane Larkin is Robin tonight to Clyburn's Batman, but he's done really well under plenty of backcourt pressure. A slow start, tough buckets, showing no fear getting in. The man with the ball in his hands more often than anyone else knows he has to try and lead his team on a must-win night. 10 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 offensive rebounds, 2 steals. But also you see there those 4 turnovers under that close defensive scrutiny from Fenerbahce. He's got a 14 PIR, which is only 2nd to Clyburn in the game. They're looking at the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague app. They'll be interested, those Fenerbahce fans, to check what's going on elsewhere tonight, in particular the game in Munich, which sees Panathinaikos on the road at Bayern. That's a crucial game in terms of which of those teams in that touch-tight group are going to finish in the top 4. I won't spoil it for you if you plan on watching multiple games this evening. 6.5 to play in the derby. Clyburn 2 of 3 at the line so far. And that's a big one because it makes it a 2-possession lead. And I think that's probably the first 2-possession lead of the 4th quarter. 19 points for Clyburn. Nobody else in the game has more than 12. Wilbekin steps back quickly for the 3 and he knocks it down. Scotty Wilbekin has 5 tonight. In a game that's been so tough for shooters. Wilbekin now has 15 points. Larkin for 3. Fireworks from both banks of the Bosphorus. Larkin cancels out Wilbekin. Big game players hitting big shots down the final stretch. Motley, Hayes-Davis was free, but Motley was hunted down by a pack of Efes players. Larkin just knocking down his 3rd 3. He's on 13 points now, as well as those 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals. Clyburn on 19 points. Wilbekin up to 15. Efes up by 4 in the one stat that matters the most. Motley catches, has a big height advantage, passes away from Larkin though, and Calathes misses the 3. He has improved his 3-point shooting, Nick Calathes. He's a 37% shooter this season. He's had problems with that at times in his career. He's just under 30% as a career shooter. So as far as the Efes defense are concerned, it's not the worst shot to give up. Oturu, plenty of movement ahead of him. Bryant will put it in, but the foul came first. As you might expect in a derby, we've had teams at or over the foul limit pretty quickly in most periods of play. And Fenerbahce are already at the foul limit here in the fourth, but Efes have 4, so any further fouls for the rest of the game from either defense will send the opposition offense to the line, shooting foul or not. Oturu there right now. That was his first free throw of the game. You can see he's only just over 50% for the season, but he knocks down both here. And he's got 6 perfect points, all in the fourth quarter. Efes lead by 6. Still only a 2-possession game, but in the scope of this game, that is a big lead. Motley fouled by Oturu, and that's his 4th. So he's now dangling by a disciplinary thread. He's had 6 points in less than 8 minutes, but also 4 fouls in that limited playing time. Tyreek Jones on 3 fouls is the only other Efes player on more than 2. Motley has 3 fouls for Fenerbahce, as does Guduric, as does Sestina, but nobody has more than 3. High-pressured free throws, no matter who's at the line for the rest of this game. Motley's now 3 of 3. And remains perfect. Fenerbahce are 14 of 19. Efes are 14 of 17. The gap is 4 in Efes' favour. 5 minutes and change remaining. And a bit of housekeeping at the scorer's table. Fenerbahce now have 3 scorers in double figures, 15 for Wilbeck and 12 for Guduric, 10 for Papagiannis. Efes have 19 from Clyburn, 13 from Larkin. Both their coaches have a chance to impart some wisdom onto their players ahead of this big final 5 minutes in the penultimate round of the regular season. It could be a season-defining 5 minutes for these two teams. And Scotty Wilbeck has been lighting it up from long range yet again. Second in the league in made threes this season. At 2.9 a game, he's actually the all-time leader in average threes at 2.5 a game through his career, but he's doubled that tonight, 5 of 10 on the outside. And he's doing it on the occasion of his 31st birthday. He leads all Fenerbahce players with those 15 points that have all come on the perimeter. The problem, however, for Fenerbahce has been their turnover count. 15 turnovers as a team, and Wilbeck's had 7 of them. That might well be a career high for Wilbeck in terms of turnovers. Whistles and jeers raining down from the Fener faithful. Both head coaches have a problem with the foul count. Guduric has a problem with his own personal foul count. That's 4 for him now. The first Fenerbahce player to pick up a 4th. Might be a very long final 5 minutes. A foul straight away here on the Efes inbound on Guduric, one that he's not happy with as he pressures Bryant towards the baseline. Bryant only 1 of 4 from the floor tonight, but 4 of 4 from the line, keeps his cool, and Efes lead by 6 again. Motley. Hayes-Davis, a quiet night for him as well, up against Boubois. Has a mismatch here though. on the block, backs him down, draws the foul and will go to the line for two. A chance to become the fourth Fener player into double figures. Hayes-Davis only 2 of 7 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line, but he's got 5 rebounds as well. Before 2019, the single game scoring record stood at 41 for almost 2 decades in this competition. Larkin and then last week Hayes-Davis breaking it over the last 4.5 years with the 49 of Larkin and then the 50 last week of Hayes-Davis. Says he wasn't tired after the 50-point game. He credits his vegan diet as well as his hard work behind the scenes. He said didn't sleep after the game as well last Friday. That's understandable. He's got Fenerbahçe back within 4. Final 5 minutes. Larkin, the man who's helped lead Efes to back-to-back championships. Short on the shot. Oturu tips it. And Efes salvage possession. There's 13,000 wagging fingers, though, at the Ulka Sports and Event Hall. They're not happy with this call. It was Deschamps Pierre who came through the hands of Oturu, did have the final touch. 12 on the shot clock. Oturu, Boubois, back to Oturu, looking to barge Calathes down. Puts it in and knocks Calathes beyond the baseline. Dan Oturu, the raging bull of Istanbul, the main man in the 4th for Efes. He's got 8 points all in this period. And a chance to add 1 more from the stripe. Sporting play afterwards from Oturu. But Efes a chance here for a 3-possession lead. First miss of the game for Oturu. So it remains at 2 possessions. That will give Fenerbahçe encouragement. Wilbekin. Motley, he won't shoot the 3. Calathes looking for Pierre, who wants it. Hayes-Davis free for the 3. Too long. Motley on the follow, couldn't convert, but fouled on his flight path. So Hayes-Davis now 2 of 8 from the field. But Motley backing him up on the boards. Third foul, Boubois. Motley, 6 of 6 at the line. 4-point game, 4 minutes to play. Penultimate game of the regular season. It matters so much for these 2 Istanbul rivals. Larkin penetrates the paint. Boubois, Bryant on the ball movement. Fenerbahçe defense not budging. Elijah Bryant one-on-one with Pierre, a good defender. Trying to skip through a gap that's barely there, and Pierre with the suffocating shutdown. Now Calathes, defense collapses away, and Calathes can't make them pay. Offensive rebound, Hayes-Davis though. A fresh 14 for Fenerbahçe. Hayes-Davis bit between his teeth, still can't convert. He's 0 of 4 on the inside, 2 of 9 altogether from the field. Approaching the final 3 minutes. Wilbekin down, Boubois free, and shows no sympathy. Rodrigue Boubois with a big bucket. It's gone down as a 2. He had toes on the line. That's so significant because it remains a 2-possession game. And Motley will put it in at the other end to take it back to 4. Well, that would have been so close. The foot positioning of Rodrigue Boubois. Well, this sold out Fenerbahce crowd is on its feet for the finish now. 2.5 to play. They're facing just their second home defeat of the season. Clyburn backing in, Beaubois running out of time, the heave, the hope. Not the outcome he wanted, and Hayes-Davis, he might not have scored efficiently tonight, but he's got 8 rebounds. Motley, Oturu slapping it against the glass, not budging an inch. Back-to-back blocks from Dan Oturu, who's playing like a man possessed in the 4th period. Final 2 minutes. He's playing on 4 fouls as well, Oturu. He's got those 2 blocks and all 8 of his points in the 4th quarter, having hardly played in the first 3 periods tonight. Motley as muscle meets muscle. And Dan Oturu just dug his heels in. 1 against the window. And 1 off the side of the backboard. Clyburn, clutch foul shots for Will Clyburn, the former EuroLeague champion. An all-first teamer as he won it with CSKA in 2019. He's got 21 points tonight. And Efes lead by 6 again with 1 minute and 51 to play. Timeout, Šarūnas Jasikevičius, Fenerbahce 69, Anadolu Efes 75.
Marco, sprint, pop, good pick. Marco receives the ball. We are playing 24 clear, but Nigel, when you clear, don't clear too much. So, Marco, Papagiannis, Scotty after the inbounder. Marco and Nigel is playing clear. Marco penetration. Marco, if you have a layup, you should take the layup. But the main action is Papa for Scotty, hammer. Okay, so we put the ball that way. But Pop, after the hammer, you have to go because Nigel is here. So you have to dive.
Will Clyburn has been the main man so far in the Istanbul Derby. 21 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, just 1 turnover. Dan Oturu backing him up in the 4th period, though. But Clyburn, who also has the best plus-minus in the game of all players at plus 13, showing what Efes were missing when he missed 10 games earlier in the season. Efes had a 7-game losing streak. Had they won 3 of those 7 even, they'd be right up challenging for 7th at least. Hayes-Davis, mid-range push shot over the shot blocker Oturu. Papagiannis fumbled the offensive rebound, and guess who it goes to? Dan Oturu again. It's been hard to find minutes for everybody for Efes because they made mid-season emergency signings. Dan Oturu, one of them. And then other players came back to fitness. Hard to satisfy everybody. Tibor Pleiss was out for a long time in that center position. But Tommy Mijatovic is managing the minutes and making the most of the options available. And Dan Oturu is taking his chance to shine. It is now a 3-possession Efes lead. He grabs his own rebound. And Larkin knows that long possessions will help out Efes. Larkin to Beaubois. Larkin for 3. off the mark. Bryant out of bounds. It should be Fenerbahçe ball, I believe, but the thumbs up from Bryant suggests otherwise. So Efes lead by 7. That's one off the largest lead in this game. The officials will go and check this, of course, at the monitor to make sure such a significant call at such a significant stage of the season. Efes led by 8 back in a low-scoring first period. Fenerbahçe turned it around and led by as many as 7, doing so on the first score of the third quarter. Efes, though, weathered that storm, and they have produced a sensational fourth period, coming from 7 down to 7 ahead. Efes have scored 25 points in the fourth.
You see, we have the hands of the... Okay, give us all the angles.
Another one?
Yeah, another one. Give us the other angle.
In the finest of basketball competitions, the finest of margins, through blurred hands and rotating balls, an outcome has to be reached.
Give us all angles so you can see it. Okay, another one. Good, another one.
But Efes' defense has been the difference. We talked about the difference through the season between these two excellent offensive teams being the defense of Fenerbahçe. But here tonight, it's the defense of Efes that has flipped the script. This is an Efes team that have conceded close to 87 points a game, and a Fenerbahçe offense that scored over 85 points a game. But Fener held to 69 with less than a minute and a half to play. So there you hear it. The ball is for Fenerbahçe. No need to check the shot clock. Fenerbahçe in this game on home court tonight, where Šarūnas Jasikevičius has previously almost felt like they're unbeatable. They've only got over 17 points in one period. That was the second. They need a score. Papagiannis for 3, provides it, and gets Fenerbahçe back within 4. Yorgos Papagiannis not backing down. And Hayes-Davis, he's ripped it away. And Fenerbahçe might yet rip the win away from Efes. A big fight feel in Istanbul, and they are still fighting to the finish. The pincer movement, the trap, Welbeck and Hayes-Davis. No way out for Bryant. Belief back in Istanbul for the yellow side of the city. So Efes were up by 7 with 1:25 to play. It could now be a one-possession game as we approach the final minute. Welbeck comes away on the curl, guarded by Oturu, though. Can the centre stick with the sharpshooter? Welbeck dancing, tying Oturu in knots and converting. And Fenerbahçe refuse to wave the white flag at their fortress. They will not surrender to their crosstown rivals. Final minute, Efes lead by 2. Larkin, 13,000 on their feet. Larkin passes out. Beaubois, big shot again. Rodrigue Beaubois, Mr. Money, with 2 terrific triples down the final stretch in crunch time of the season for Efes. The 36-year-old sniper, after Welbeck had got Fenerbahçe back within a couple. The 3 for Beaubois makes it a 5-point Efes lead.
trying to hit Nigel in the post. Nigel work. After Nigel has the ball. Scotty goes like this. Scotty goes in, out. You screen Scotty. But, Scotty, if you don't have it, keep rolling. Scotty. Scotty goes in, out. If you don't have it, keep going. Papayannis pop. If you don't have something, get a quick bucket.
Efes won only 7 of their first 20 this season. They're on the cusp of winning for a 9th time in 13. They recently lost 8 in a row away from home. They might now win back-to-back big road games and hand Fenerbahce only their 2nd home defeat of the season. It is the enigma of Efes. .41 seconds to play. Fenerbahce down 5. Far from finished. Guduric over the top of Larkin for a 3 that they need. And Marko Guduric steps up in their time of need. The sold-out yellow legacy shaking the whole Asian side of the city. Marko Guduric makes it a 2-point game.
Guys, listen. We just called the timeout. First of all, there's 35 seconds, okay? They're in bonus. They don't have timeouts. Let's please right now. Go to referee.
Fenerbahce Cumhuriyeti, the Fenerbahce Republic. They've been red hot tonight, but their team haven't hit the same temperature as previous home games. They're cross-city rivals. The reason: Efes, disruptive, physical, determined, and lead by 2 with 35.8 seconds to play. Win tonight, and they have their play-in fate in their own hands at home to Crvena Zvezda, back on the opposite side of the Bosphorus next week. Fenerbahce will press. Ball in the hands of Efes' main man, Will Clyburn. Trapped, finds a way out. There's a 12-second differential. A conversion for Efes would just about win it. Shane Larkin versus Coletes. 2 to shoot. Larkin gets it away in time and wins the Istanbul Derby. Shane Larkin strapping on his superhero cape, but Fenerbahce still will not go away. A 1-point game. Biberovic the 3 and then the foul. 3.8 to play. Efes will have free throws, and then Fenerbahce will have 1 shot. If they can create one to either win it or tie it and take it to overtime. And that all depends on the nerve of Elijah Bryant. He's 4 of 4 at the line tonight. He misses the first. So Fener will only need a 2. This next one will decide whether that would be for the win or for the extra period. 3.8 to play is enough time to create a shot. Bryant's first miss at the line. He makes the second. No timeout. Calathes down the floor. Hayes-Davis from deep, off the mark. And Anadolu Efes, by the skin of their teeth, become just the second visiting team to win at Fenerbahce all season. It's been a treacherous trek, buried under an avalanche of injuries early on. Erdem Can a victim of that force majeure. But as they say, mountains are there to be climbed. And Tommy Mijatovic is taking them back to their peak. 9 wins in the last 13 games for Anadolu Efes, and they are now the strong favourites to seal a place in the play-ins when 2 months ago they looked dead and buried. It is the win of their season. A team who only had a 3-13 road record. They've just won at a team that had a 15-1 home record. The Istanbul Derby finishes Fenerbahce 80, Efes 82. And what that means for Fenerbahce is perhaps home court advantage gone in the playoffs. That is what their hearts desired. We'll stay with us as we wrap this one up. We'll start with your Motorola magic moment. Comes from one of Efes' 2 standout stars tonight, Shane Larkin, taking it at Motley. Larkin, the underarm scoop and score, the trash talk to follow, the fearlessness to attack on the interior past Calathes through Motley's huge frame that looked to shut out any sight of the rim. Shane Larkin with 2 of his 15 points tonight. And Efes win it 82-80 on the road at Fenerbahce. 2-point shooting crucial in that regard. They made almost twice as many 2s tonight, survived Fenerbahce's 14 3s. The turnover count important in their favour and a real illustration of the effort and excellence on defence that's been missing for Efes for large parts of the season. They forced 15 turnovers tonight. Limited theirs to 11 in a high-intensity confrontation. Your Adidas player of the game, Will Clyburn. One of the best nights of his season. He played longer than anybody else, 33 minutes. For a man who spent a couple of months mid-season injured, it's taken him a little while to get back to his best, but he's certainly there now. He led the way for Efes in scoring and rebounding, and did plenty of everything.
Will, congratulations. We can call it as a derby. A real derby in Turkey, in Istanbul of EuroLeague. You guys won. As we talked during the halftime, communication, and we can see now 19 assists, the whole team. It was a teamwork, and at the ending, we've seen a great communication and a hustle, and you have 28 PIR. How do you evaluate this whole game?
You know what? Everybody knew what we were fighting for. Obviously, we're trying to get in the play-in. and guys brought their best today. I hope if anybody had any doubt who the best 3 in Europe is, it's still me, and it will be me. So I just want to congratulate the team. We came out here, fought hard, and got a road win and an important win.
Very important win, as you mentioned, and then, no, it's okay, it's fine. And it's okay. And at the same time, as you mentioned, playing. But now, the whole game, when we look the whole game, the details led you guys to win. So how do you explain the details that happened tonight?
You know what, we found a play that worked. Obviously, they were hedging on Shane, trying to get the ball out of his hands, and he was hitting the short roll, the pocket pass every time. And then from there, he was trusting us to make the best decisions from there. But that fourth quarter, that 2-up play, kind of got us that win.
And then to the MVP, my last question is, what do you think about the play-in right now for the next game? It's going to be Red Star in the home court.
We're just going to enjoy this win for now. We got Fenerbahçe again on Monday, Sunday, whatever day it is. So we're going to worry about that game and then focus that later on.
Thank you, and congratulations again. Thank you.
Let the MVP go and celebrate. What a night for Will Clyburn. 21 points, 5 of 7 from 2, 2 of 5 from 3, 5 of 6 from the line, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, a steal, just 1 turnover for that 28 PIR in nearly 33 minutes of play. Stay with us and we'll get some more reaction from the Anadolu Efes camp. We'll hear from Shane Larkin, who was their other big performance on this Istanbul evening.
Shane, congratulations. Great chemistry at the ending of Anadolu Efes, and then sharing the ball. Obviously, assists show us a lot. And as a captain, the hustle. I want to underline the hustle of the three-pointers, and at the same time on defense. So, as the captain, as I said, what would you like to say about the whole game?
I would just like to say that I'm really just proud of our team. You know, a lot of people wrote us off a couple months ago. We weren't playing the best. We had a lot of injuries. And I guess people kind of just shut the door on our season, but we kept believing in each other. We kept fighting. And I think tonight, of all things, it just shows our character. This team's been playing really well at home all year. Had some great wins, been playing great the last few weeks. But we came in here as an underdog, really fought as a team, showed our character, showed our intensity, our fight, and our will to win. And we walked out here as a winner tonight. So we're just proud of our team.
You mentioned the character, but right now we want to know what is the mentality of Anadolu Efes from now on, if you secure the play-in. From now on, what's going to happen?
You know, it took us a while to find this mentality. You know, we needed to have this from the beginning of the season, but, you know, a lot of things got in our way. We faced some adversity, but we didn't give up. So the mentality that we have to have from now on is what we've had the last few months. Just it doesn't matter what's in front of us. It doesn't matter who it is, what team, what defense, what offense. We got to go out there and do our best, play our hearts out, and be the harder playing team for all 40 minutes. And that's what we've been preaching for the last few months. And I think we've been doing that, and I think that's been showing. And now it's just about continuing to do that and see what we can do.
And I wanted to ask you this question before the game, but right now I have a chance to ask you. On 2019, we've seen you broke the record. But last week, you gave the flag to Nigel Hayes-Davis with the 50 points. What would you like to say about that to all the fans in Europe? I think they want to hear from you as well.
Yeah, I mean, above anybody else, you know, I know how hard it is to score that many points. And he had it really going. And his teammates did a great job of getting in position the same way my teammates did that night. I scored 49. So at the end of the day, nobody could do it by themselves. And, you know, he has a great team over here, a great coach that's kind of put him in position to be successful. He took advantage of it, and scoring 50 points on, you know, however many shots and however many minutes is very, very challenging to do. So it was a great performance, and now it gives me motivation to go out there and break his. So let's see if I can do that.
We're so curious. Thank you so much, and congratulations again.
Shane Larkin remains the only player in EuroLeague history with 2 40-point games, and he's on the winning side tonight with 15 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 of which came on the Fenerbahçe backboard, 2 steals, also the 4 turnovers. Faced plenty of pressure, but came up with big plays in big moments, and ultimately did his scoring fairly efficiently, a 50-38-100 shooting split. Let's hear from his head coach next, Tommy Mijatovic. What a job he is doing after taking over from Erdem Can. Efes now 7-2 in his time in charge.
Coach, what a game, what an ending, what a whole team spirit we've seen from Anadolu Efes. They've been talking about play-in, about what is going to happen to Anadolu Efes, but as a coach of Anadolu Efes, what would you like to say with this win?
Well, you know, first of all, congratulations to both teams. I mean, it was a basketball game, fight all the way through, ups and downs, pluses, minuses. Sincere congratulations to our guys. I mean, I thought about something smart to say on the way here as far as how to emphasize the amount of pride and the amount of appreciation that I have for them. It's difficult to find the proper word, but these guys are amazing. They're fighting. We are climbing one step at a time. We set a target for ourselves, and every game is like you said before the game. We talked about it. Every game is like, oh, this is the most important game, and this one was because it's the next one, and we approach it like that, and we have this team spirit, as you saw, and super proud of our guys. Really, really super proud. I want to thank them again. I want to thank everybody in the staff who did an amazing job. The coaches did a tremendous job preparing the game. Everybody put their effort into it, and really a team victory.
Exactly, and 28th of December 2023, 5 months ago, exactly, Fenerbahçe Beko won this derby, the first of the derby in Sinan Erdem, and right now Anadolu Efes is winning and won in Ülker Sports Arena, and this shows how the fans, the atmosphere, the ambience of EuroLeague motivates the team.
You're absolutely right. I mean, every game is wonderful atmosphere. Every game is sold out. Everywhere you go, every game is a battle. Everybody wants to show something, and you know, today really a head-to-head battle. Two teams, they want to compete, they want to fight. And again, congratulations to everybody, and a deep congratulations to our guys. And hopefully, this is for our fans. That they were not here today, obviously just a small group, but everybody in Sinan Erdem, everybody that supports FS, this is for them.
And you arrived to team mid-season, and you're seeing this whole hustle, this whole mentality of the underdog, as Shane Larkin mentioned, the team spirit.
Teşekkürler Alp abi.
This is the team spirit that I'm talking about.
Well, you know, this really, and I've been saying this a million times. I've been with the team from the beginning, and this is not about me. This is about the team. I'm a small part of this. I'm happy and honored and very privileged to work and to have privilege to work with these guys for all these years. And like I said, I feel this obligation to FS, which is a home to me, that we have to give everything we can. And hopefully we continue to do this. And these guys are showing everybody that they will continue to do this and fight like this, and step by step.
Coach, congratulations again.
Very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tommy Mijatovic, a man who lives and breathes Efes. He's been at the club for around 14 years now, much of that as an assistant, now leading the way. His team with perhaps the win of their season tonight, 82 points. They struggled from the perimeter, but 59% two-point shooting, and moved the ball for 19 assists with just 11 turnovers against a very tough Fenerbahce defense. An impressive team display at both ends for his Anadolu Efes side. Get some reaction from the losing head coach here tonight, Šarūnas Jasikevičius.
Coach, what an ending, what a game, what a derby. How do you evaluate this game?
Well, we didn't play our basketball. This is for sure. We didn't manage to understand that we need to play as a team. Too many turnovers. At the end, like we always say, these games will be decided by small details. We make some crazy fouls that put Efes on the line. You know, at the end, couple of those, it's immediately 4 points when every basket is so crucial. You know, so details and everything. The fight was good at the end. I think the guys gave everything, but I think we didn't play our basketball ultimately.
Thank you, Coach.
His team miss a huge opportunity to challenge for a place in the top four and home court advantage here in the playoffs. They might have to now do it the hard way if they're to end their 5-year wait for a place at the Final Four. They got up to 80 points in the end, scored 28 in the fourth quarter. It had been defense dominated the first 3 periods, but Efes scored 31 in the fourth period. And Fenerbahce held to 36% two-point shooting. Through the season, they're at 57%. And what a night in Istanbul as the yellow of Fenerbahce faced the blue of Efes. And in this EuroLeague season, you just never know what you're going to get. One of the worst road teams at the best home team. Of course, it had to be an Efes win. The Turkish Airlines EuroLeague, where you should only expect the unexpected. Will Clyburn, 21, turned it on. Over his last 7 games now, he's averaged 17.4 points. Efes have their MVP back. And Boubois, don't forget about his 2 huge threes late on. Guduric did his best to keep Fenerbahce breathing, but Shane Larkin with a wonderful shot with 11 seconds to play. Bibarovic kept life in Fenerbahce lungs, but that is as close as they came. 80-82, the Efes win, as we see those numbers again. Fenerbahce will fall to 20 and 13 for the season, I beg your pardon. Efes will rise to 16 and 17, but after 7 wins the first 20, it is now 9 wins the last 13, and 7 wins out of 9 since Tommy Mijatovic took over from Erdem Can. 3 more games ongoing tonight. They are close, they are important, and they are full of drama. 2 more derbies, Real Madrid, Baskonia, and Milan, Bologna. And Panathinaikos on the road at Bayern as well. I can tell you Panathinaikos ahead by 5 in that one, around half of the 4th quarter to play. Baskonia, final stretch in Madrid, leading by 1. And Milan with a 22-point lead against Virtus Bologna as they look to stay alive in terms of the play-ins. But Efes' win here, a huge blow to the likes of Milan and Partizan, and maybe even Baskonia, who could yet slip out of those play-in places. Efes for now tie them with 16 wins. They keep 10th spot for themselves after Partizan got their 15th win yesterday. Had Efes lost the derby tonight, Partizan would have replaced them in 10th place by virtue of already winning the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Turks. Milan need the win to stay alive. Valencia have sacked Alex Mumbrou after their hopes evaporated with a big defeat at home to Asvel last night. Fenerbahce cemented into 6th as they stay on 20 wins. So Monaco and Barcelona too far ahead of them now. Fenerbahce do have the head-to-head tiebreakers over Panathinaikos and Olympiacos if they win their final game at Olympiacos next week. So they could still finish ahead of Olympiacos if they win that game, but they're reliant on Panathinaikos dropping games. Round 34, the final game of the regular season, comes next week. And Efes at home to Crvena Zvezda win, and they are in the play-ins. Fenerbahce on the road just have to go and try and win the game in Piraeus at Olympiacos and see what happens elsewhere. The derby in Istanbul belong to the Blues tonight. From me, Tim Long, a pleasure having your company for it. Until next time, keep it one team, one way, one play. Keep it the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague.
Turkish Airlines EuroLeague in association with